Thank you for tuning in to MacroView Television. This is the Taiwan Outlook, and I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. On today's program, we're delighted to have a specialist and an expert on international financial economy. And he is Professor Li Yun-Jie of the National Open University. And we're going to ask Professor Lee about his observation and opinions about the ongoing global financial crisis and what are his remedies for solving and tackling the global financial downturn. Yun-Jie, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And Professor Lee is a very good friend of mine. We know each other for a long time. I also know that he's currently in the foundation advisor at the National Policy Foundation under the ruling KMT. Welcome to the program again.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start off with something very comprehensive. Why don't you give us some of your personal observations and opinions about the ongoing global financial crisis? How it started and what's going on at this particular point. For example, have we bottomed out yet? Have we reached a low point? Or are there worse things yet to come? What's your opinion?
Well, I think the global financial crisis is not yet finished.
It's not?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think the challenge would be serious. And so many countries are suffer by the global financial crisis.
Of course.
And I think this is a good timing for us to review the bankruptcy of our financial system.
Yes.
So I'm very happy to have this opportunity to talk with you.
Yes.
And we can talk later.
Of course.
Okay.
And since the start of the global financial crisis, we have seen that governments around the world and also international financial institutions like the World Bank and IMF, International Monetary Fund, have come up with a number of different stimulus packages, to try to revive the economic performance of their respective countries.
Yeah.
How do you rate those economic stimulus packages? Are they effective, or are they the right, prescription to cure the financial ills that we have seen?
All right. First of all, I think the most important packages initiated by governments around the world is the expansion of government expenditure.
Of course.
Many governments are undertaking an unprecedented fiscal expansion based on Keynesian theory. The Keynesian fiscal policy has become a mainstream measure, to resolve the financial crisis around the world. This is the first point that we should notice. And secondly, I think the cases of the U.S. and China are worth noticing. President Obama and his economic team believe that a giant stimulus package is needed.
Yes.
The depth of the worsening recession has presented him with an extraordinary mandate to throw hundreds of billions of dollars at the problem. Obama revealed that the massive stimulus package could exceed $1 trillion.
Yeah, easily.
Yes. And in Asia, on the other hand, China announced that the massive stimulus package of the 4 trillion renminbi will be spent to boost the domestic demand in the face of the slumping export market. According to the evaluation of IMF, China would have 30% to 40% contribution to the global economic growth. I believe that the United States cases and the China cases are worth noticing at this point.
In particular?
Yes.
Yeah. And interesting that Yun-Jie, you just mentioned about the Keynesian theory. And of course, when we talk about Keynesian theory in economics, we talk about the invisible hand, the market forces. But actually, as you mentioned, that nowadays the government are so visible in the marketplaces,
Yes.
Using public expenditure to try to stimulate the investment and spending of the private sector, try to revive the
Yes.
economy.
Yeah.
What do you think that this is? Some people call this the end of capitalism in the world. That the government is now nationalizing all the banks, taking over all the bad loans and the debts. Do you think that is start of something of a little more socialism and less capitalism that we will see in global financial market in the future?
Yeah, I mean, in the long run, I mean, it has been a debate.
Yes.
Between the Keynesianism and the neoclassical.
Of course. Yeah.
But I think the government intervention is inevitable.
Yes.
In the face of financial crisis. Because this crisis is due to a market failure.
Yeah.
Okay, and I believe that the Keynesianism would be a mainstream measures for a while. As long as the financial crisis continues. Yes.
And how would you think that the government rescue packages or stimulus packages can be effective in addition to just government spending? How can it be more helpful in terms of restoring public confidence in investment and in spending? Do you think these rescue packages are on the dot, on the money, in terms of restoring public confidence?
Well, okay, that's a good question. Let me give you two examples. For the United States and China, Obama pushed the stimulus package plan in Congress.
Yes.
Arguing that it was needed to prevent the United States recession from turning into an economic,
depression.
Depression.
Yes.
And he said that this is not a blank check, and the money would be go out quickly and be spent wisely.
Yes.
But however, I think that, this is going to be the tough job.
Of course.
Kind of tough job because I think it's pretty difficult, for the government to spend money not only wisely but also quickly.
Yes.
The professor Nis Klan, a public choice economist, he argued that the bigger size of the government budget is, the more waste it's gonna have. So it's very tough job for the United States to put the money wisely and quickly. And I think there would be this is a problem of the policy implementation.
Yes.
If the policy implementation is not effective, then the waste of money of the taxpayer will be
tremendous.
Yeah, tremendous.
Yes.
That's right. So with regard to the China case, Yun-Jie Lee, the premier of the China, he said in the opening ceremony of the Board Forum, he said that the situation is better than expected.
Has improved.
Yes, has improved. Yeah. And my viewpoint is that some program of China packages, such as sending TV, television, and the refrigerator to rural areas, are really effective in terms of promoting the economic growth and stabilizing the agriculture sector. However, we should not lose sight of the fact that the international financial crisis is still spreading. The best trend of the recession is not reversed.
No.
Problems in the financial system remain unsolved, and the worsening of the real economy is still serious than expected.
Okay. You mentioned that Chinese Premier Yun-Jie Lee, what he said at the Boao Forum. But I remember last year in the opening session at the United Nations that he also said that now restoring public confidence, confidence is more precious than gold or any currency.
Yes.
Do you agree with such a statement?
Yes, of course. Right now, I think the public confidence is pretty important to restore economic growth because every consumers they don't want to spend money too much because they
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, they are afraid of the uncertain future.
Yes.
So I think he's right.
Yeah, he's right to say that the public confidence is
Yes.
more precious than gold or any currency. Yes. And for the remainder of this segment, Yun-Jie, I'm going to ask you, in addition to government stimulus packages that we've discussed, we also know that international financial institutions like IMF, like World Bank, have also come up with packages, especially for the developing or underdeveloped countries around the world. How would you think that those rescue packages or stimulus packages are effective in terms of helping those areas?
Okay, sure. I mean, of course, it might have even if the authority around the world, somehow managed to, quickly stabilize the banking system, get the credit flowing again and boost the demand in the global economy. The IMF argued that there is no quick fix.
No.
Yes, and IMF report said, quote, the key challenges is to break the downward spiral between the financial system and the global economy.
Yes.
Even if policy actions are taken expeditiously and implemented as intended, the deleveraging process will be slow and painful, with economy recovery likely to be protracted.
Yes.
And I think so we must be patient.
Yes.
And there is no quick fix for the financial crisis. But we need to rebuild our confidence.
Yes. Hopefully we're getting a little closer
Yes.
to the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes,
But
sure.
we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back to the Taiwan Outlook, and we're going to continue this conversation with Professor Li Yun-Jie of the National Open University. We'll be back in 2 minutes.